In this episode, I'm going to give a book summary of Dr. Tom Ingegno's book, The Cupping Book. And if you were listening to my podcast last month, Dr. Tom was a guest on August 16th. So if you missed it, go back and listen to that episode. Dr. Tom was gracious enough to send me this book with some cups to try at home. So these are some of the ones that he sent me. But I just want to disclaim here that he did not ask me to read this book, nor did he ask me to give a review of it. I'm just sharing this book summary as it aligns with my mission to help bring positive solutions to you, my listeners, that can transform your life from the inside out. So here it goes. Cupping is not necessarily new to me. Some of my kids have had cupping done on them throughout their athletic experiences. My daughter, who is a physical therapist, has experience using cups during her training. A couple of my kids have cups of their own that they use at home. And I recently bought a small silicone set of various sizes of it to use on myself and my family. And these are the littlest ones that were in that cup that often are used. I like to use, which I just recently did, like up here on my traps, as I tend to get tight when I'm typing in and doing some other activities. But Dr. Tom's goal and intent for this book was to help keep this ancient traditional therapy alive, allowing anyone and everyone to participate and perform this technique in their homes with just a small investment in a cupping set. So this book is a very short, easy read. Tom gives a brief history of cupping and how it can improve your health, gives details on the various types of cups, and provides the step-by-step instructions on how to perform both the static and sliding cupping techniques. Now, I'm not going to go through all of this in the book, from his book, but for those of you who may be unaware of what cupping is, maybe you have seen an Olympic athlete recently this summer with perfectly round bruises, maybe on their shoulders, their backs, maybe even on their upper legs. This is the visual remnants of cupping. So what is cupping? I'm going to read directly from Dr. Tom's book. Cupping is a therapeutic technique that uses a vacuum created inside a cup to help improve circulation and increase space between the skin, fascia, and muscles. The space created by the cups allows inflammation to emerge from the deeper tissue. It can be recirculated to the body's core to be processed while pulling fresh blood into the area to allow healing and relax muscles. In addition, the new blood has oxygen and nutrients that bathe the surrounding area, relieving pain and repairing tissue. The bruises occur as the vacuum pulls the skin and ruptures the tiny capillaries at the surface. So that is what cupping actually is. And it has been around for over 4,000 years. And it is unclear which country or civilization first developed it or how it was spread, but cupping has been discussed and written in ancient texts by the Egyptians, Persians, Greeks, and even in South America. Cupping was considered a home therapy in ancient China before seeking professional help. And I think it was in his book like 300 AD when Chinese um, writings had said, hey, get this in the clinics. So it was often just performed at home, like before any professional treatment. So cupping really should be thought of first when there is mild muscle pain or discomfort, as it has fast relief. In fact, I was showing you that I had just cupped my trap muscles while I was preparing this episode for you, just to relieve that tension, because I often get tension in there, and I'm sure everybody else kind of does too, in the upper back and neck areas. So it's really beneficial just to relieve that tension very quickly. So cupping is beneficial for pain relief, like I said, muscle soreness and tightness. It's often used too for sinus and chest congestion, digestive issues, and stress relief. Cupping helps our bodies relax and return to the rest and digest stage of our autonomic nervous system, which allows our feel-good hormones to normalize and to come out, reducing anxiety, calming us down, and really giving us peace of mind. So often you see the remnants of cupping with the bruising. The bruising that results from cupping is beneficial, but not everyone will bruise, and bruising will vary in color depending on how strong the suction is, the duration of the treatment. So the longer the cups are in place, the darker the bruise may be. But please, Dr. Tom is adamant about not leaving the cups on for longer than 15 to 20 minutes. The longer that you go, maybe the less intense the suction can be, depending on you and your type and your tolerance for some discomfort. But the color of the bruising can also depend on your vascular health and your vascular density, the type of cup that is used. And he goes over various types of cups in his book that I'm not going to go over right now. The timing of when the cups are placed can also affect the color of the bruise. Generally, getting treatment shortly after working out tends to add to the darkness of the cups because it's all nice and warm and your blood is flowing. If a person exercises regularly, because as those that exercise regularly, they have developed more blood vessels to carry the blood to and from the muscles. So there's more blood there at the surface potentially to create that bruise. And also injury spots, maybe previous injury spots or damaged tissue often leads to darker cupping marks as well. Cupping marks may last a day or two, or even up to more than a week, depending on the person and the darkness of the bruise. A person should really focus on the relief of the symptoms as a guide for judging the effectiveness of the treatment, not the color of the bruise. Because some parts of the body will bruise, easier than others, depending on the level of blood at the surface. In his book, Dr. Tom gives step-by-step instructions. I mean, these are step-by-step. You cannot fail by following his instructions on how to perform the static cupping technique, where the cup is placed on one spot for a duration of time, not to last more than 15, 20 minutes, and instructions on how to do the sliding technique, where the cups are slid across the length of a muscle with the aid of oil or some creams or liniments. I'm not going to go over these techniques because Dr. Tom explains them so well in his book. But he also, in his book, discusses the different types of cups, like I mentioned earlier, some of the pros and cons of each and what to look out for, and think about when trying to get your own set, where to buy them. He even gives, hey, here, get them on Amazon, get them on an Asian market. There's a lot of different places where you can get them, along with like the different types of oils or liniments or creams that can enhance your cupping experience. And especially if you're doing the sliding technique, you need some oil so that those cups can glide across your skin and not pull it. And then also how to clean them. So it gives the whole, instructions from beginning to end, with a little bit of history in his book on how to do this cupping technique that can relieve muscle pain, muscle soreness, even help with congestion. So I highly recommend anyone who is an athlete, has athletes, or anyone who is really looking for a simple and effective way to reduce tension, relieve stress and pain, and really improve overall well-being, to get his book. It is on Amazon. It's easy to read. It has step-by-step instructions with pictures of various types of cups, where to get them, and what the cupping marks look like. Cupping is so easy to learn, easy to do, and easy to teach your kids or your spouse how to apply the cups so you can get the relief, because it's really hard to put them on your back. So without the help of someone else. So I really believe Dr. Tom did an excellent job fulfilling his goal of bringing the ancient art of cupping back into the homes of anyone and everyone. So thanks for listening.